There's that saying, thank God I don't look like what I've been through. Or maybe, thank God I don't look like who I've been through, because some of these relationships I was in really took me out, took me through there. I was not even myself. I'm so glad I made it to the other side. So sometimes looking at them skeletons lets us know, hey, I'm not as bad off as I thought I was. I thought I was out here struggling, but actually, I got off the struggle bus a long time ago. Hi, I'm Dr. Tiff, your relationship transformation coach. I've spent the past 20 years working with high-achieving women just like you who are crushing it in every area of their lives, everywhere except their relationships. And look, I get it. Finding the one ain't easy, and relationships are hard. But you know what's even harder? Cycling through the bad ones, or worse, staying in relationships when you already know they're not a good fit. You want a relationship of ease, uncomplicated, someone to love you down, but instead you've been suffering through bad dates, sexual incompatibility, and someone who might be good for somebody, but not for you. And if we're really being honest, you know that deep down, the work that really needs to be done starts and ends with you. If you're done wasting time in dead-end relationships and sick of looking for, chasing after, or trying to convince somebody to be the one, and you're ready to become the one, then baby, you're in the right place. So prop your feet and let's clink glasses, because I'm giving you the tea and the tips to fix your relationships. Let's go. Hey there, it's me, Dr. Tiff, and you are tuning in to Fix Your Relationships podcast. Thank you so much for joining me again this week. I love it when you guys rock out with me. It really does make my day, warm my heart, and just, really makes me feel good to be able to connect with you in this way, because I know that I'm doing the Lord's work. This is what He wants me to do, is talk to you about ways in which you can fix your relationships. A quick question before we get started. You know what I'm about to ask you. Have you joined the Facebook group? If you haven't, gone over there. It's Fix Your Relationships Facebook group. It's F as in fix, Y as in your, R as in relationships, community.com, FYRcommunity.com. FYRcommunity.com is the Facebook group. Go on over there, because on this podcast, I'm giving y'all so much tea, so much information, so much insight, okay? And I want to know if you're picking up what I'm laying down. And because this is not a call and response show, okay? You can't call in and tell me that you got it. Guess what you can do? You can go right on over to that Facebook group and holler at your girl. You can come over there. We can talk about things. If you don't understand something, I can give you some more resources and more clarity. I can answer your questions. And here's the wonderful thing that I love about having a Facebook group. If there are topics that you want me to discuss, if you want more information on certain things, or if you wish that I did an episode on something, you can drop it to me in the Facebook group, okay? You can say, hey, I have an idea for an episode. I would love to hear you talk about this or address this, or better yet, hey, girl, I have a question. Let me tell you, I have been married for X number of years. I feel single as hell. I really want some advice on how to navigate my relationship, improving the quality of my relationship. I need to determine whether I want to stay in this relationship. What should I do based on these things? Guess what? You can ask me that in the Facebook group, and I'll probably turn it into a podcast episode, because that information that I give, it not only helps you, but it helps a ton of other people who just didn't think to ask me that question. Okay. So what I'm asking you to do essentially is be a good girlfriend. Okay. Be a good sister girl to your compadres that listen to this podcast. They may have questions and they're fearful of asking, and you can just go on over to the Facebook group. Like I said, FYRcommunity.com, and you can ask your questions there, and then I can answer them and give that feedback to you and to your sisters who have the same question, okay? So if you haven't done so already, FYRcommunity.com. Thank you very much. Today's show is all about one of my favorite things, journaling, and why journaling could be the key to relationship success. 5 ways that journaling can improve your relationship. Now, this doesn't mean that you show your partner your journal, okay? Unless you just want to, unless there's some insights that you don't feel like you can articulate and it would be better explained if they read it, I guess, sure. But that's your that's your decision to make. But I do think that there are several insights that we can get from our journals that do help and improve our relationships. Number one, journaling gives us the opportunity to look back while we simultaneously move forward. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Journaling gives us a lot of insight, a lot of clarity into our patterns, into our habits. It helps us to make sense of things that we've already written down. We may have some struggles that we're going through in our current relationship, and going back through our journal may give us some insight into our why we do the things that we do, why we feel the way that we feel, when these things started, patterns, all the things. So I think it's super important, and it is an opportunity for us while moving the needle and while moving forward in our relationships to look back and see if we can find the answers to some of those deep questions about ourselves that we have. Number two, I feel that I've said this before. I feel that we tend to be a lot more honest when we write things down, especially when we know that no one else is going to see it. We feel like we're not going to be judged. We feel like no one's going to nitpick. No one's going to call us out. No one's going to curse us out. No one's going to throw us to the curb because of the things that we've said or the things that we felt. And so we're able to be a lot more vulnerable in our journals than we maybe are able to in our real relationships. And so having a journal allows us to get those things out and maybe helps us to make sense of things prior to confronting a situation. Too often, I think that we aren't honest with ourselves. We're not vulnerable enough and clear enough in our delivery when we have an issue with a partner. And sometimes journaling will help us to gain some clarity and figure out, how we really feel about something before going and confronting that person or the situation and trying to make some changes without really being honest with how we feel. So that's number two. Number three, journaling, I believe, helps us to see the patterns in our relationships. If you're someone who has journaled and taken notes on, many of your relationships, whether that's within the marriage or while dating or through college and high school. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I do feel like a journal is an adult diary. You can look back through, depending on how long you've kept a journal, you can look back for, days, weeks, months, years, decades, and see how you have navigated relationships in the past, what you thought about things in the past. I think is a beautiful exercise in discovery to determine how much you've grown, but also maybe how much you haven't grown, how much has stayed the same, where some of these issues that you've had originated from. Sometimes people look back at their journal and determine that, oh, wow, I didn't even realize I've been doing this long. I didn't realize I had a pattern of choosing people who do this thing. I didn't realize it till I saw it in writing. So keeping a journal is a way of having a really accurate record of your relationship, probably the most accurate record of your relationships, your feelings, how you navigated things, why you navigated things in the way that you do. And it illuminates what I'm going to talk about in number 4, but I think journaling really does highlight those things, those patterns in our relationships that we might want to look at. All right, let me move on to number 4, because the number 4 way that journaling could be the key to relationship success. Number 4, all of the skeletons usually are in the journal. All the things that you've done, the things you want to forget about, you put them in the journal so that it's your way of getting it out, so you don't have to revisit that again, okay? The problem with those skeletons, we don't revisit them. We also don't fix the things that we need to fix, okay? Girl, it happened, okay? It did happen. You wrote it down and it happened, okay? And so we need to sometimes go backwards so that we can go forward. We need to wake up them dry bones, okay? We need to dust them off and make sure that we understand why the relationships might have ended in the way that they did, what mistakes we might have made, what things we accepted that we shouldn't have, what things we thought we wanted out of a relationship, but it turned out it was the worst thing for us. What did we learn from those relationships? It's important to go back and revisit those skeletons, wake up them dead bodies for a minute, so we can figure out, oh boy, I did that. Oh my gosh. It's also a great way of looking at how much you've grown. I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. There's that saying, thank God I don't look like what I've been through. Or so it may be, thank God I don't look like who I've been through, because some of these relationships I was in really took me out, took me through there. I was not even myself. I'm so glad I made it to the other side. So sometimes looking at them skeletons lets us know, hey, I'm not as bad off as I thought I was. I thought I was out here struggling, but actually I got off the struggle bus a long time ago. I'm just riding a cab right now. We can do better. We have done better, but sometimes we need to wake up them dry bones, look at those skeletons and see how much we've grown, see what we need to learn from them so that we don't make those same mistakes again. All right. And number 5, the 5th way that journaling could be the key to relationship success. Journaling is dedicated self-care time. It's a time for reflection. It's a time where you can prioritize you. I talked about this a little bit last week in those ways that we can be more intentional about our self-care. Journaling was one of those ways. It is a time that you can set aside for yourself, whether it's first thing in the morning or last thing before you go to bed, where you just set aside a quiet time to just reflect on the events of the day, reflect on your relationship, reflect on your thoughts, your feelings, your mistakes, your vulnerabilities. It's a dedicated time for you to prioritize you. I think it's super important. I think we need to be very intentional. If this is a practice that you would like to pursue, I think it's an excellent way to incorporate more intentional self-care into your daily routine. And I think it's a necessary way of channeling growth and transformation in not only yourself, but in your relationships. And to that end, I want to talk to you guys about my course that we are launching. It is The One Within 30-Day Reset. You guys are familiar with The One Within because we did The One Within earlier in the year, at the top of the year. And at that time, it was a beta program. We were working out the kinks, trying to figure out how this program should run, what types of things should be included, not included. And I got a lot of feedback about it. And so we were able to revamp this program and make it bigger and better than it was before. And so I want to introduce you to The One Within. That'll probably be my next episode where we talk about what The One Within is. I'll give you the links to sign up for The One Within because it'll be ready by then. Is an excellent way if you're someone who, you know what, I do need to start journaling. I do want to write these things down. I do want to take account and be able to visually see it on paper, what it is that I've done or haven't done, the triggers, the habits, the patterns, the people, what I need, what I don't need, what I want, what I thought I wanted, all those things. I need to keep a record of that. I need to get to the other side of it all so that I can have the type of relationship that I desire and deserve, and I can start calling in the love that I know I deserve. Then this program, hands down, is for you because you're going to get all of that and more. So go ahead and run on over. Actually, if you want early access to the program, go over to the Facebook group, FYRcommunity.com, because I will be posting there first because those are my people. Okay. Those are the people that I know ride for me. Okay. So go on over to the Facebook group, FYRcommunity.com. And as soon as that program launches, because see, here's the thing, that program, this podcast comes out every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, the podcast comes out. But that Facebook group is open 7 days a week. So if I launch the program on a Thursday, y'all not going to hear about it for a whole week. Okay. And I'm going to launch it when I launch it. Okay. All right. So go on over to the Facebook group so that you will be among the first to know about The One Within 30-Day Reset. Okay. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I did try and keep it short and sweet today, as short as I could possibly do it. So thank you guys so much for rocking with me. I'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you next week. All right? Ciao. Hey, babe, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. My goal with this podcast is to bless you with information that helps you fix those relationships that are most important to you, but not before you do the self-work needed to make sure that those relationships thrive. If this episode was exactly what you needed, then guess what? Somebody else probably needs it too. So do me and them a favor. Please share this episode with your good girlfriend and let her know about the podcast. And while you're at it, hop on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. review. This really helps to grow the podcast and puts it right in front of other women who are desperate to work on their relationships and themselves. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to join our community of like-minded women all on a journey to become the one. You can sign up for free at becometheone.myflowdesk.com/email. I know that's a lot, so just go on over to the show notes and click that link there. Thanks again for listening to Fix Your Relationships with Dr. Tiff. I'll see you right back here next week.